Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about 8 different ways to generate passive income. We're gonna break down each idea on how hard it is to get started, how hard it is to make $100, and how hard it is to maintain said idea once you started it. So let's get right into it. So what is passive income? If you've ever read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I have a review on that book coming up, but that book really changed my life. What you're gonna learn is that the rich don't work for money. This is the main idea of the entire book. And what that means is most of us work a full-time job, a part-time job, or a hustle of some sorts. But what we're doing is essentially exchanging our time or hours for money. So the moment you leave that job, or you're sick, or you become unemployed, the company shuts down, your income is no longer available. That check is not coming anymore. And passive income is a way to diversify your income stream so that you're not solely dependent on a single stream of income. You're not only just protecting yourself and your family, but also making sure that you can make money while you sleep and eat and you're at the gym and you're just living your life. You're not limited to only the available time that you have to work. So a quick example is like, let's assume you decided you want to write an ebook. You're a phenomenal cook, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna take some pictures, write up some custom recipes, and you're gonna put this book for sale online. Well, if someone on the other side of the planet decides to buy your book at 2 a.m., well, you just made some passive income because you essentially invested time and effort into that project, that system, or whatever that stream is. And then you never kind of have to touch it again, right? You can create a different version of the book. You can edit some of the recipes, but even if you decide not to, it's gonna continue to generate cash flow or passive income. Just a heads up, I do wanna mention this. You probably saw an ad before this video that talked about you getting rich, or you've been DM'd. I get DM'd like almost every day for some Forex trader. And actually start the conversation off really well, and then like it completely goes to spam. There is no way to get rich quickly. That is a myth. It does not work. It is possible that 1 in a million people will either win the lottery or they bought Tesla when it was at $10 a share and they held it. But for most common people and 99% of Gen Pop, it's not going to work. So what you can do is be consistent, build systems, go through this video and like check out some of these ideas, see if any of them resonate with you, and then just get started on them. It's not rocket science, it's more like A to Z, and you can get from A to Z just by putting in the work, the time, and the investment into it. So idea number 1, investing in stocks. I wanted to start with this because it's probably the easiest. You can get started right away. It's definitely the safest, and it's not gonna take a lot of time or effort. You can start with something as little as $1 and work your way up from there as you get more practice and better at it. Keep it in mind that when you're investing in stocks, do it for the long term and not the short term. So I'm not talking about day trading. I'm talking about the Warren Buffett strategy, the Benjamin Graham strategy, and I actually have a video that I'll link here or in the description about getting started with investing, what stocks you should pick and buy, what platform to use, and we'll cover all of that. For this video, what I just want to say is like, most people will keep their money in a savings account that's giving them a yield of 0.01, which your money is still losing its purchasing power because of inflation. So the best thing you can do is invest it. Now, when I say invest it to keep things short, you don't need to actually pick individual stocks, just invest in like a sector ETF, something like in the S&P 500. When you buy 1 share of this index fund, you're essentially buying a little piece in all 500 companies of the S&P 500. And then you can rinse and repeat and do the same thing for the Dow Jones, for NASDAQ, and other international markets as well. All right, so let's break this down into the 3 categories we discussed. The first one is, how easy is it to get started? I'm gonna rate this as easy as possible. So it's definitely a 1 star, 5 is the hardest. So it's a 1 star because all you need to do really is download a brokerage like Robinhood, for instance. I'll drop the link below as well. And you put in your information, fund the account, and you can essentially buy a stock right away. So there's not a lot of legwork involved. The next question that I want to ask about investing in stocks is, how hard is it to actually make $100 a month using this idea? And if you bought, for instance, a year ago, you bought the S&P 500 sector ETF, like I mentioned, then you would actually be up roughly 40% because the S&P 500 is up by that much in the last, 12, 18 months. So essentially, if you had invested a year ago $2,400 and it doubled, essentially, you divide that by 12, you would be up about $100 per month. But you can't look at it that way because the stock market, it's unrealized gains. So you would actually have to sell your stocks to then see that money in your bank account and then use it for whatever you would like. Another thing you can do is if you actually want some quarterly income, you can invest in dividend stocks. So you take something like Apple, where each time they file their quarterly reports, they'll issue a dividend, and that money will actually just be paid out to their shareholders based on the percentage of the company that you own. So if Apple has 100 shares outstanding, you own 1 share, and they decide to give a dividend of $100 because you own 1% of the company, you would get a $1 dividend. Of course, that hopefully you own a couple more shares and the dividend is a lot more than $100. So you get that in your account, and then you can do with it as you please. You can withdraw it or reinvest it, would be my recommendation. So the last question I want to ask on this income stream is, how hard is it to make that $100 essentially forever? So if you take a look at the S&P 500, it historically has averages of about 10%. So if you were to get to the point where you have $12,000, right, invested, in the stock market and in the S&P 500, every year you're going to get about 10% return, or $1,200 divided by 12, $100 per month. And if you leave that money in there compounded, the next year and the following year, that number is always going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. You're gonna actually at some point have to sell those shares to get the realized gain, and you actually have the money in hand. But of course, my recommendation is the same as Buffett and Graham, which is just hold it for the long term. So the next passive income idea that I want to mention is becoming an affiliate marketer. I don't know if you've ever considered this, if you have a large group of friends or just a big group of influence, then this is probably the best one for you, because I was doing some research, and globally, the average affiliate marketer, or at least half of them, make anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 a year. That's roughly $1,600 a month. And if you were to ask me if that's a good gig, I would say, yeah, absolutely. Because it doesn't require a lot of work to become an affiliate marketer. It's essentially, you're exposing your audience to some product or class or course, a system. It could essentially be anything. You're just sharing your own link. Back in 2012, when Instagram was just becoming a thing, I created an account called Jesus-centric, and I was posting consistently. We posted, as of today, we have like 2,700 posts or something like that, 400,000 followers, and we get a decent amount of engagement. I didn't run ads or do any affiliate marketing on this account for the longest time because I wanted to maintain the account, honest and pure, and the integrity of the content. And when you do advertising, it tends to water down social media accounts. So I avoid it as much as possible, especially because the business doesn't need the revenue. I don't need the revenue right now. It's not like these things are gonna pay me hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. So every once in a while, I will do one of these ads if it resonates with the brand and I know that the followers will enjoy. And typically what that looks like is they'll reach out to me or DM, and I get like 4 or 5 of these per month. They wanna see some stats. They wanna see how the account has been growing in the last few days. So if I'm interested, I'll send them the screenshots. I typically will charge anywhere from $200 for a story post with the swipe up, or $750 for a feed post. That goes away after 48 hours. So we never leave any advertised content on the feed because I feel like it distracts people. When they go to the page, they're gonna see advertised content there. And that's just a personal opinion of mine. Maybe you're different. I just don't enjoy it. So what ends up happening is, if I were to accept one of these advertising promotions per month, I would easily be over that $100 mark. The problem with this is it's almost impossible for you to become a successful affiliate marketer if you don't have an audience. So I got my monitor back on and I want to answer the question. So how hard is it to get started? And it's not hard at all. You can go to Amazon, which happens to be one of the biggest markets for this, but there are a million different things, right? There are SaaS companies, systems, services. I mean, literally the list is endless. If you find something that you're interested in and you have a niche for, I almost promise you there's gonna be some sort of affiliate link that you can use. So to get started, it's not very hard at all. But the next question then becomes a lot harder, which is how hard is it to make $100 a month as an affiliate marketer? And I have my phone here with me because I want to read some numbers. Let's assume that we have a product that's selling for $50 and our commission is 5%. Keep in mind that most commissions are going to be closer to like 1% or even $1 percentage, like $1 or just the net profit of that company. Just keep that in mind when and if you sign up to become an affiliate marketer. What's going to happen is you're going to have to drive traffic to this landing page or this product. And typically these convert at about 1%. So if we want to make $100 and it converts at 1%, we're going to need to drive at least 8,000 visitors to that product or landing page. Then we'll get to the $100. But what ends up happening is like, I don't know 8,000 people, and I don't know 8,000 people that I can deliver this product to every month. So from a how hard is it to make $100, it's very hard, especially if you don't have an audience. If you do have an audience, then that's extremely easy because the conversion numbers are gonna line up. They already like you. They are trustworthy of what you provide and the content and the value that you've been giving them. So the likelihood is not only that they're gonna visit that page, the conversion number is probably gonna be higher and you're gonna have more products that you're gonna be able to become an affiliate of. So again, that audience is like key in all of this. So in my case, for instance, if we take the same $50 product, $5 commission, 1% conversion rate, and I'll give you some stats on Jesus-Centric and the account. So right now we reach about 250,000 people per month and we get about 90,000 interactions. That means they click or like or go to tap the